All right, and here you have it. I mean, damn, this thing is a beast. It is huge. This one is actually a little bit taller and definitely thicker. I measured. So the Reef Octopus is 10 inches, and then this one comes out at 13 and a half inches, which is quite a difference. So I look forward to installing it, and so stay tuned. The skimmer has been out for over 2 weeks now, and I've been able to keep the nutrients, of course, dosing bacteria and dosing carbon dosing, and I've been able to keep the nutrients in check that way. But again, like I mentioned, I'm hoping that maybe this helps to not have to, because I was having to do so with the Reef Octopus. It got to a point where it just wasn't enough for just skimming, even though I even also have a roller mat. So it's just, I don't feel that I have too many fish in there. And that's another thing we're going to cover as another part to this little series here of what stock do I have? How does the tank look nowadays? How many fish do I have? And then, all the parameters and so on and so forth. So definitely stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Make sure you like this video if you want to see the follow-up video to this. But this was more an unboxing and first impressions, and so far so good. Other than the build quality, I would say maybe it's a bit better on the Reef Octopus, but at the end of the day, we want to see how this performs, right? So we shall see. Thank you so much. The time has come to finally change the skimmer. And if you watch my previous video, you would know why. So in those 4 to 5 years that I've had that skimmer, I've actually had to replace the power supply twice. On the second one, the power supply was not the issue, and now I'm having to send that pump back. So I decided, do I want to stay with Reef Octopus, or do I want to try something different? I honestly, like, as expensive as things are today, like, yes, you would think that 4 to 5 years is a long run, and it could be, but I expected more. I expected at least 10 years. I mean, I've heard of people running some old skimmers for quite some time. But yeah, I mean, that's just me. Honestly, I decided to buy the pump as a backup in case I need to either go back to it or whatever the case is. But for now, I decided, you know what? Let me pull the trigger. Let me try something different and see how that goes. So that other skimmer gave me quite a good run. I just want it longer, and I guess at the end of the day, that's how we're gonna really know what is what, right? Like, let's see if I can push this to last longer than 4 to 5 years. But I do plan on ordering some additional pumps so that I can have this at hand, because the tank has been actually without any skimmer for quite some time now. I want to say 2 to 3 weeks, and that honestly, I feel like has created me to have to do more water changes. I normally would do a water change once a month, and now I did one within the 2-week period after doing the initial water change before the whole thing went out. And so I feel like if I don't put a skimmer ASAP, I'm going to have to keep the routine up of making significant water changes in order to make sure that the water's always, crystal clear and not that brown yellowish color that it gets, And so with some carbon and with some water changes, I was able to keep that up. But my purpose is really to reduce water changes to at least once a month, because that's what's been working for me. And so, all right. So as y'all know, I'm not part of the meticulous club like Victor says from Worldwide Corals. So this is not clean. This is going to be your typical sump with, or maybe not typical. I don't want to offend anyone, but your sump that I just don't clean. You know what I mean? I do clean maybe once a year. So let me take that back. I clean it once a year maybe. But for the most part, it stays ignored under here with no attention other than cleaning the skimmer cup. We also work on refilling the CO2 scrubber, which is also something I want to discuss in a future episode. And then there is my Avast Kalkwasser. Again, if you watch my last episode before you start talking mess, I've been actually sick. I've been actually experiencing a very severe life experience when it comes to my health, and so therefore I had ignored this tank. And the reality is this is not ready for Instagram or for YouTube or for Facebook. This is reality, especially with someone that, as you can see, I'm already out of breath and I haven't really done anything. But the point is, I've done my best with keeping the fish fed and all that, and then I scrub this glass maybe once a week or so, maybe less. As I regain my energy back, I definitely will be working on that. So let's get back to where the skimmer is going to go. So one of the things that I already don't like about this NYOS skimmer is that these controllers, at least for the new one, because if you know anything about these skimmers, it actually started off as an AC pump skimmer, meaning that the pump only had one speed and you adjusted everything through the air and the level of water and so on and so forth. The new ones now, it's the same body, except that the pumps now are DC, and they're actually more powerful in the sense of air draw. I believe it's about 2,200 liters of air is what I understand per hour. The air intake that it does is supposed to be a lot higher than the first generation pumps that were just AC. If I understood the information correctly, this will actually pull double the air that the Reef Octopus did. At the end of the day, we'll see how it works, and over time, I'm going to tell you what I like, what I dislike, and I'll tell you whether it accomplished what I want to accomplish, which is keep my nutrients low. Like I was already having a hard time with the other one, as I mentioned in the previous video. You got to keep up with some of these videos because that's where I talk a lot about other things, and then I forget to bring them back up on the new, more recent episode. But in this case, I haven't increased the bioload of my tank other than the corals. The fish are still the same, yet, for so long, for so many years, this tank was okay when it came to phosphate to nitrates. I didn't have to dose anything. I didn't have to do anything. They were maintaining low, not zero, but low. For those that are new to the channel, though, I guess I should explain that this skimmer is going to be going into a 310-gallon tank, the Mega Matrix from Planet Aquariums. This is an 8-foot tank by 30 inches wide by 24 inches tall. Now, this is not the best form that I'm showing it in, but I also didn't want to sit there and clean it right now because I only have energy for one thing, and that's either making this video or dedicating some time to cleaning this glass. But I do have plans, and I'm trying to prioritize my things by writing down, a to-do list and then checking them off as I go. So that's where this tank is, where this skimmer is going into a 310-gallon aquarium. This right here sits on a stand that was built from Reef Octopus for the Reef Octopus, but it seems to barely make a fit for this NYOS. And as far as the depth goes, I recommend 8 to 9 inches. I want to say that this is about 7 to 8 inches. So I'm going to leave it like this, but I might end up removing that stand to bringing this a bit more down. But the thing is that I have it on its lowest setting, so it would end up being around 9 to 10 inches if I take that out. So, and I don't have any more room really. For now, we're gonna let it break in for a few days, and I'm gonna show you the foam. One thing I've always liked about videos that show about skimmers is when you actually show the foam action, when you show how white that foam is. One of the skimmers that really impressed me that I'm not sure that it made it through the market here because I don't see it anymore is that Ultra Reef. The bubbles that it created almost seemed like the body was full with milk, and then the bubbles that came out and was skimmed out, very, very fine bubbles, which to me, made a very, very black skim mate, which I've seen at one of our not really local LFSs, but down south, I want to say about an hour and a half away. That's where I actually got introduced to it. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and connect all this, and I'll bring y'all back once it's connected, and then once I get ready to turn it on, then that's when I'm gonna bring y'all to see it with me. All right, so here you have it. We're about to turn this baby on right here. There it goes. So, very disappointing right now, but I'm assuming because I have to probably do something with the app in order to really set it up. So, let me do that real quick, and I'll get right back with y'all. Of course, there's gonna be some sort of update that you have to do. And so as I told you before, it has 2 different controllers, which I went ahead and put right here. It has 2 different controllers, so that means that I have to update 2 different pumps. I do see where it says it's gonna be either the Quantum 220 / 300. So the 220 has the same pump, except it's only one. And then this one, which is a 300, has 2 of what the 220 has into one. So then I'm hoping that this recognizes it's a 300 and then, control it as 1 pump versus having to be 2. All right, so I already seen an issue. It showed that it was doing both pumps, right? But now there's only one showing there. And here you could see sort of a green, sort of a red light. I don't know if it comes through on camera. But basically what I'm seeing is that one pump was able to update and the other one now it has an error maybe or something. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But so sure enough, there you go. So it looks like initially it did not do the update. So then you only saw one. But the sad part about it, both lights are green now. The sad thing about it is that I have to control it as two separate pumps versus one, but maybe there's some benefits to that, right? Maybe run one pump high, one pump medium, or, I don't know. We'll see. What do y'all think? All right, so here we go. This is gonna be at max power. Now, I do wanna mention that I have the pipe all the way open and then the air intake all the way open as well. So I'm just gonna let it sit like this for a few days, and then I'm gonna come back to check on it and see where it's at, and then start fine tuning it in order to get whatever skim rate it is that I want. At the moment, I don't know whether this is normal or not. Honestly, I was assuming that it's gonna go a little bit more up and then maybe stop at right here, being that I do have all the air intake all the way open, and normally that means the max amount of air. I'm going to just hang tight, be patient, and give it a day or so to come back and check to see where it's at. I'll catch you in a few days, and for y'all, it's gonna be in a few seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we had to wait a whole day or two or anything. I was reading that, in most cases, it doesn't take a break-in period for this skimmer, and that it would start skimming in so much time. Well, it's been about an hour to an hour and a half later, and I'm already getting some skim. So I'm not sure, like, these were actual real reactions. And so I guess initially, because I'm not familiar with this skimmer, I was like, what, that was it? And so I'm assuming because it is DC powered, that it was already programmed to start at a low speed until you then connected to Mobius and programmed it. Now, the main question is, could I have used it without Mobius? And I don't know. The red color, the red LED that you saw means that it's at the lowest setting there is. And the higher you go, the more colors, the different colors it turns. So from like yellow, from red to yellow to green, and then to blue, which blue means highest power, that you're putting out from 80% to 100%. When I first plugged this in, as you can see right here, this started at red. So I'm not sure if maybe pressing a button would have gotten it started. The only button to press is really that. Let's see if I can get focus on that. The only button to press is really that button right there, which is just the touch of that center part, and it just clicks once. So I'm not sure if pressing that would have gotten this to work at full speed and we wouldn't need a controller. I'm sorry, but I can't answer that question now. I'm thinking maybe I could reset it, and then maybe I can answer that question. But let me know if that's something you would like to know, and definitely wouldn't mind trying it out. But for now, I'm going to leave it skimming the way that it is. It's a little bit sort of medium wet skim, not completely like wet skim and not dry at all, because it doesn't have that dark color. It has that dark tea color. So I'm gonna leave it as this and give it maybe a few days to see where we can get this to. And for now, I'm gonna leave y'all here, and I'll bring y'all for a more in-depth review once I've had this running for a few weeks, 2 months. So, but I did want to bring you and close this out already, because I apparently was wrong, and my expectations at first were like, no, my reaction at first was like, whoa, what's going on? The red, not whatever. I did go ahead and dial the way to the pipe that controls how much water comes out, and I think that honestly it was just a little bit of patience and tuning, and it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I will keep y'all posted on the whole nutrients issue. The two skimmers are different, two different brands, two different methods. These have the internal pumps that pump water straight up to create that foam, and the other skimmer has a pump that is on the outside and pumps from the outside in, creating more space for those bubbles to go up, I guess. And in a way, maybe that's better, but again, at the end of the day, we'll see which one I like better, and maybe I should have gone with an internal pump all along. Who knows? Keep y'all posted. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you leave a comment below to see if there's anything you want to see next, or if there's any questions you have about this skimmer that I can answer. All right, catch you on the next one.